The Gagauz are one of the peoples whose history has been closely intertwined with that of Ukraine for centuries. According to one of the most widely accepted scholarly theories, the formation of the Gagauz people is linked to Turkic-speaking tribes, the Oghuz, Pechenegs, and Kumans, who, during various historical periods, inhabited the northern Black Sea region, including the territory of what is now southern Ukraine. Over time, through wars, border changes, and great migrations, some of the ancestors of the Gagauz moved beyond the Danube to the territory of Dobruja and present-day Bulgaria. It was there, over the course of several centuries, that the Gagauz people gradually acquired their modern characteristics. However, in the late 18th and early 19th centuries, the Gagauz returned to Budjak, to the lands of what is now southern Odessa region, which they considered the homeland of their ancestors. Here, they founded a number of new settlements, developed their economy, and began another chapter in their history. It was on the Ukrainian lands of southern Odessa region that the Gagauz people ultimately emerged as a distinct ethnic group, preserving their language and unique culture. It was here, in the 20th century, that Gagauz writing and literature began to develop actively, becoming an important part of preserving national identity. Today, the Gagauz live compactly in Moldova, Ukraine, Romania, Bulgaria, and Greece. Ukraine has the second largest Gagauz population in the world, after Moldova. Over 32,000 Gagauz live in Ukraine, most of them in southern Odessa region, among the endless steppes of Budjak. After Ukraine gained independence, a new stage of development began for the Gagauz people. The Ukrainian state opened new opportunities for supporting national communities and developing language, culture, and education. It was during this period that the Gagauz national program, Ana Tarafi, Homeland, appeared on Odessa regional television. For many years, the program was hosted by Ukrainian Gagauz journalist Nadia Malenkova. At the same time, books, dictionaries, and educational materials began to be published in the Gagauz language. In the late 1990s, the modern Gagauz national cultural movement took shape in Ukraine. In 1998, the society Birlik was established in Odessa, which translates as unity. Its founder was Ukrainian diplomat and professor of law, Ilya Karakash. The continued development of the Gagauz movement in Ukraine led to the founding, in 2007, of the all-Ukrainian public organization, Union of Gagauz of Ukraine, headed by Vasily Keliohlo. An important event for the development of Gagauz culture was the opening, in 2014, of the regional center of Gagauz culture in the village of Vinohradivka, headed by Olha Kulaksis. Later, other Gagauz associations began to appear in Ukraine, including the Kardashlik Society in the city of Reni and the Gagauzlar organization. In 2018, all these organizations united into the Association of Gagauz Societies of Ukraine, which became a symbol of unity and cooperation among the Gagauz people of Ukraine.
Yuri Demchoglu,
a deputy of the Odessa Regional Council of the 6th and 7th Convocations, was elected head of the association. An important step in preserving historical memory was the book History of the Gagauz of Ukraine. Researchers Stepan Bulhar and Yuri Demchoglu worked on it for over 8 years, collecting archival documents, family memories, and stories of entire generations. An important contribution to the study of Gagauz heritage was also the book The Gagauz of Ukraine, published in 2016. This fundamental work was prepared by an international team of scholars, and the project was led by Tudora Arnaut. At the same time, Gagauz language courses and professional development programs for teachers operated in Ukraine for many years. They were conducted at the Taras Shevchenko National University of Kyiv, as well as at the Odessa Regional Institute for teacher training. Today, Gagauz language courses are held at the Izmail State University of Humanities. For many years, the Gagauz of Ukraine have participated in the development of the Ukrainian state in various fields. In sports, Gagauz athletes and coaches helped bring Ukraine recognition, including Ignat Hrek, coach of the national freestyle wrestling team, European champion in Thai boxing, Mikhailo Vasilyolo, and world champion in beach wrestling Semen Radulov. In medicine, notable figures included honored doctors of Ukraine Petro Volkov and Mykola Turchin, professor, scholar, and longtime head of Hospital No. 11 in the city of Odessa. In science, a significant mark was left by Professor Boris Drahanov, academician of the Academy of Sciences of Higher Education of Ukraine and associate of Boris Paton. The development of the Gagauz language in Ukraine is also supported by philologist and staff member of the Department of Turkology at Taras Shevchenko, National University of Kyiv, Tudora Arnaut. Ilya Karakash became one of the people who made a significant contribution to preserving Gagauz identity and developing the modern Gagauz movement in Ukraine. These are only some of the people who work to preserve Gagauz culture, language, and historical memory. In reality, there are many more. It is thanks to such people that the Gagauz in Ukraine have become an inseparable part of Ukrainian society and continue to make their contribution to the development of modern Ukraine. However, today the Gagauz people face one of the most serious challenges of modern times: the gradual loss of language and assimilation of the younger generation. The Gagauz language is heard less in everyday life, and many children and young people no longer use it in their families, at home, or in daily communication. UNESCO has classified the Gagauz language as endangered. Throughout their history, the Gagauz have repeatedly stood in defense of their native land and served in the military during various historical periods. As far back as the time of Kievan Rus, the ancestors of the Gagauz, the Uzes and Torki, guarded the southern borders of the Kievan state and had alliance agreements with the Kievan princes. Today, in the most difficult times of modern Ukraine, the Gagauz, together with Ukrainians and representatives of other peoples, once again stand in defense of the independence and freedom of their state. Over 600 Ukrainians of Gagauz origin currently serve in the armed forces of Ukraine. More than 100 have been seriously wounded, and already over 40 have been killed. In the Herhiolo family, both father and son went to the front. Mikhailo Herhiolo went missing in action in the battles near Soledar, and his son, Volodymyr, continues to serve in the naval forces of Ukraine. In the Palas family from the village of Dmitrivka, 4 brothers are fighting for Ukraine today. Journalist Ivan Kopsamun, at the start of the full-scale war, joined the armed forces of Ukraine, fought in Donbass, was seriously wounded, and now continues his mission to tell the world about Ukraine and the Gagauz community. The Sakali family from the village of Kubay also became an example of devotion to the country. 2 brothers and their sister serve at the front. Lieutenant Colonel of the Medical Service, Lyudmila Sakali, Colonel of the Medical Service, Valeriy Gaidarzhi, saves the lives of Ukrainian servicemen every day at a hospital in Odessa. Commander Stepan Drahanov, with the call sign Gagauz, destroyed over 40 units of enemy equipment in just the first year of the war. The highest-ranking military officer of Gagauz origin is Brigadier General Mykola Palas. Among the Gagauz of Ukraine, there are also heroes of Ukraine who were awarded this title posthumously. Among them is Ivan Kedik. Nowadays, the Gagauz people of Ukraine continue to fight for the freedom and independence of their state, proving that they are an integral part of the country. Today, there are growing calls for granting the Gagauz the status of an indigenous people of Ukraine. After all, the Gagauz as an ethnic group in Ukraine effectively meet the main criteria set out in the law of Ukraine on indigenous peoples of Ukraine. They were formed on the territory of Ukraine, have their own language, culture, traditional representative institutions, and identify themselves as a separate ethnic community. However, this is not only about legal status. Above all, it is about preserving the language, culture, and the right of future generations to maintain their own identity. In essence, it is about the survival of the Gagauz ethnos in Ukraine. For as long as the language, culture, and historical memory live on, so will the people. Long live the Gagauz people. Glory to Ukraine.